It is high time for the Democratic Party to die. Seriously, its usefulness has long since come and gone. The left-leaning people of this country need and deserve a political party that represents them. What is left? Well, generally, tolerance, acceptance of all, leaning toward mercy in a moral judgment as opposed to leaning toward justice. Support for government in opposition to commercial or capitalistic interests, ostensibly for more rights and protections for consumers in the population. Support for the marginalized, a voice of the silenced. These things are what it means to be left-leaning in modern America. The Democratic Party, in stark contrast, is a tool of the uber-rich, a weapon for the destruction of American values, American families, and American freedoms. A party that seeks to silence voices, not listen. Contrary to what most conservatives believe, freedom of speech and freedom of religion are basic liberal values. When I say something like the Democratic Party must end, most people incorrectly assume that I want some kind of absolute dominion of American politics by the Republican Party or by conservative thinking. That, actually, would be reprehensible. The Republican Party is very nearly as corrupt and anti-American, anti-people as the Democratic Party. It is a money laundering machine. If our political environment was such that the Republican Party had lost all touch with its original values and was losing its base, projecting a rabid, authoritarian, white Christian nationalist rule by force kind of vibe, I would be all for the dissolution of the Republican Party. But despite what you hear from demonstrably deceitful, evil purveyors of outrage like Rachel Maddow, this is simply not true. It is all about balance, always has been. If a liberal ideal desires one thing and conservatives desire another, then, just as in a court of law, we need people who can debate the benefits of both sides honestly and with knowledgeable argumentation. Balance. Americans deserve choices, and more than two of them. It is our own fault, letting this uniparty monstrosity grow. But, as in all things, if we are to blame, then we have the power to change. By divesting the Democratic Party of power, of money, of your voice, dear liberal American voter, you invest in another political party. You encourage the growth of a party that actually represents you. You can and must engender change in that nascent power to flower and enact change in the government in the directions that you desire. That is simply how it works. The resistance here, I can already hear the cries, "But if I don't vote blue, no matter who, then the Republicans win." Spoiler alert, they already have. They are winning everywhere. The Democratic Party has failed you utterly. Why throw good money after bad? Kamala Harris and AOC in 2028? Be serious. The party has been hijacked by extremists. It is being used for terrorism and hatred, not any positive change. Its leaders, Schumer, Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries, AOC, these people are merely empowering themselves for their own personal benefit. There is no future for good-hearted, patriotic, community-minded Americans in the Democratic Party. When bloated bureaucratic businesses fail, the talent that once worked there does not disappear into the ether. They form smaller, but more agile, more focused businesses. The name recognition may be lost, but what is gained is far better. A business that can laser in on crafting something that the consumer actually wants, rather than appeasing the stockholders or a board of faceless suits. This is exactly what the liberal heart of America needs. A young, actually diverse, astonishing how many old white people rule the Dems, fresh bunch of energetic talent that focuses on what left-leaning Americans really care about. In a few short years, what can be built will surprise and invigorate you. It will put fear into the Republican Party in ways that AOC and Bernie Sanders could never hope to do. You may say that the Libertarian Party has too many conservative ideals, or the Green Party is too wacky. Fine. But you do understand that political platforms change, right? Just ask Biden or either of the Clintons. If enough liberals would actually show up, vote, and forge new ideas and directions for any given political party, things would happen. This is not rocket science. Look at some of the platforms from just 10 and 20 years ago. They are unrecognizable today. Another reason to let the Democratic Party die is to keep the Republican Party honest. Everyone knows what backdoor handshaking and winking is going on here. It is not a secret. The nefarious actions of corrupt politicians who have been in power for far too long can be removed when fresh new faces, no longer beholden to the power structures and money of the old guard, are introduced for them to now deal with. That is how things get done. Breaking the power of the entrenched deep state on both sides. Laws are not written to make people good. Good people write good laws. We need, more than ever, good people to wrest the power from corrupt political machines and give it back to the people who genuinely care about our communities and our nation. Good faith debates and discussions with the belief that we can all get along and improve our great United States of America is what started this country. It is, by all accounts, what will keep it alive. Liberals, I sincerely hope you are up to the task.